Because some journeys are better taken together.
Let's walk the talk. 702.
Marnus, I think is how you pronounce his name. Mostert is a certified financial planner and consultant consultant by Momentum. Marnus, is that how one pronounces your name? Good morning to you.
Hi there. Good morning. Are you doing well?
I'm very well, thank you very much. How are you this Thursday morning?
I'm freezing cold. I'd love to say that I've been awake before this time to do this, but this is the first. So no, you're more or less correct there. It is Marnus Mostert, and I'm a certified financial planner for Consult by Momentum.
Stunning. Thank you very much, Marnus. Thank you for making the time. It's certainly not easy waking up this early in the morning any day, but particularly when it is freezing cold outside.
No issues. And just to be clear, I'm also not volunteering for the ice bath or ice shower.
I know. Like, who in their right mind will be... I mean, an ice bath and ice shower in the morning, I suppose, makes sense, particularly after a workout, right? Because you help repair your muscles and all of those wonderful benefits. But at night, I want to be as cozy and toasty and warm as possible in order for me to enjoy that wonderful night.
Sure, we'll have to take their word on it.
Let's do indeed. I suppose onto a subject matter that is slightly more difficult to understand for some of us. That's Gen Zs, and I suppose millennials by extension. How does their approach to money differ from people outside of those age groups?
Well, look, that's quite a loaded question. So sort of just to unpack that is to say, where does it come from? Where does it stem from? So obviously Gen Zs, they probably now between the age of 12 and 25, I'd say, and they sort of grown up in the digital first world, whereas opposed to millennials, it's probably 26 to 41. It's much different times. But again, so Gen Zs do promote instant gratification. They prefer convenience when it comes to their groceries, takeaways, goods and services, etc. And when it comes to things such as risk, they tend to prefer high risk, high reward type of investments and routes to take. Now, again, that differs a lot from millennials, which prioritize stability, security, and they're very much influenced by an older generation. And the reason why I say that is, if you might recall that millennials lived through the 2008 financial crisis. So they've seen massive market volatility. They've seen loved ones and parents lose their jobs, their homes, their vehicles, businesses closing left, right, and center. And even some of them had to start out with a job in 2008, which obviously made it very tough then, as opposed to Gen Zs, where they've only seen a strong US, a strong S&P 500. They've seen tech stocks rally, and for them, for a single stock to go up by 3 digits in a single year, it's nothing funny. They're kind of very used to that. So, I mean, among other things, they've sort of risen in this very fast-paced instant gratification world.
And I suppose we see it, certainly in Cape Town, for example, there is just about every other building has micro units that are being built into those residential developments because those Gen Zs just want a place to sleep, essentially. They will eat out. They will, as you say, order in. If they're going to be entertaining friends, it's out at a restaurant as opposed to cooking a dinner at home.
For sure, and again, it comes back to they sort of prioritize short-term needs over any sort of long-term planning. So as you said, instead of looking at perhaps a larger place to live in, they might sacrifice that because there is an overseas holiday coming at the end of the year. And I mean, some of them even prefer not to drive around in their own vehicle. They make use of services such as Uber. So it's a lot of things they're giving up in the long term for what they want immediately.
What financial tools become available to them? Because they also live in an age where information is so overwhelming sometimes. I mean, I know some people, for example, who fall into the Gen Z category who are playing the market. And I'm going, why are you doing it? Oh, it's fun and I can make a quick buck. I'm going, no, but invest in the markets for the long term. Don't try and turn a profit, because unless that is your profession, all you're doing is just developing an ulcer for no reason whatsoever.
You've got more than 10 minutes. I've got a lot to say on this. So, I mean, yeah, so there's advantages and disadvantages, of course, of the technologies that they use. So predominantly, they use some fintech technology to obviously for banking, for investing, etc. And that's all great because I believe that the right technology can actually aid you in your sort of personal financial journey. However, where it does become dangerous is they often listen to sort of what we call nowadays influencers and people on social media that will come up with all sorts of different topics and things that they convey to their followers that actually is just not true, but it's obviously meant to build their own following. So the risk in that is that they obviously expose themselves to sort of quote unquote advice that's not really proper. It creates a different image of what investing and wealth is really all about. And I think predominantly for them investing, etc. nowadays, it's more about wealth creation. They sort of expect whatever they do to create wealth, whereas opposed to millennials and other generations, you have to go and make your own money at your job or in your business, whatever you do, and you reach out to somebody like a certified financial planner to manage your wealth. So it's a very big difference between wealth management and wealth creation. So for example, what I do for a living is not truly wealth creation. It's more about managing the wealth that you've already created yourself. So they sort of switch that around completely. So when you sit with a Gen Z person and you try and explain to them, but listen, a real return over a long period until you retire is very decent at 10, 11, 12, 13%. They sort of laugh you out the room because they can tell you about this and that guy that make 5 times that in just over 3 months. So you're exactly right in saying that I think there's a record number of day traders, but I mean 9 out of 10 of them don't make it. But that's unfortunately not the message that these so-called experts portray, unfortunately. And it's very easy for a young mind to sort of follow that suit. And there's been no generation like them so that they can learn from that previous generation. They sort of, with all due respect, on their own with that. So they willing to take a lot more risk for a certain level of reward, and I also think they sort of see risk and losing money as part of a learning curve overall. So yeah, don't get me wrong, we're not trying to bash all the Gen Zs out there, but it's just saying that look, there's a place for technology and there's a place for advice. And that's sort of where you should find your sweet spot and not trust everybody that just slaps a logo on there to say, this is not financial advice, but they are clearly giving financial advice.
I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you very much, Marnus Mostert, a certified financial planner at Consult by Momentum, reflecting to us on how millennials and Gen Zs approach money, investing, risk, and whatever tools, of course, they have at their disposal. Marnus Mostert, thank you very much.